So my greenhouse is fully enclosed now. It's still a mess inside. I haven't cleaned it up yet. Oh, he even put the rope over top of it and everything for me. Just an extra precaution. I had the rope over it when it was just plastic to help hold the plastic down. But even with this stuff, I told him I still wanted it on there just as an extra safety precaution in case the wind came along and tried to grab some of it. So, very, very nice. Some of the panels could use a little washing. That's no big deal. Very, very cool. I love having the regular window in here because you can clearly see in and see out, which is very nice. When I had the regular plastic on, you couldn't see through. I mean, you could tell if somebody walked by, but you couldn't see any details or anything. This is kind of cool. I like being able to look in and see it clearly, and when I'm inside, being able to look out, especially because it looks out over the horse pasture, which, I don't know, they're probably down by the other barn. So, anyway, very cool. I'm very excited. So, I'm back out in the greenhouse, and I tried taking a video this morning of the thermometer in here. It was right around 30 first thing in the morning, and it was about 29 degrees outside. And so I came out here to see whether or not it held any of the heat in from yesterday. And it hadn't. It was about 30 degrees in here. So I set my phone up to videotape the thermometer as the sun came up. But it was kind of gray and overcast this morning. And I videotaped until 7:30 till about 9:30. And it had only gone up to 40 degrees. And about the time I quit videotaping, the sun came out. And here it is about 11:45, and it is over 80 degrees in here, which is wonderful for seedlings and all of that. However, getting down to freezing at night, there's a kitty cat out there trying to figure out why she can't get in here to me. Getting down to freezing at night is still a problem. So I'm either going to have to use a propane heater, which propane costs a lot right now, or I'm going to have to talk my hubby into helping me build a rocket mass heater, which I think would be lovely. Good evening. Sun's going down. Got a little fire going in the fire pit over there. Don't know if you can see it. And most everything is done on the greenhouse now. John has all the plastic on the outside. We got the rope for just a reinforcement. And he even found this cool piece of metal. It was in a scrap pile. It had a leather harness stuff on it. We kind of think it might be off of a yoke for a horse, maybe. Like maybe the reins go through here or something. Not sure. But it's pretty cool. He made that into a handle. So we just kind of unhook it here. And then we come around here. We can pull this. It's hard to do with one hand. Alright, so we pull that, and then we just come over here, hook that up, and my door stays open. Or, obviously, if I don't want it open, I just unhook it. And then, you can come inside, pull it shut, and I have another little hook here. So I can lock that. Anyway, I did get in here and clean it up a little bit. This was all full of trash and everything. So let's straighten out a little bit more. Get all my trash in there. I have a whole bunch of water bottles that I keep around for putting water in. Straighten up my pots a little bit. Pulled up my seedling trays and things like that. Have some leftover pieces of corrugated plastic. I gotta figure out if any of them are good for small projects around for something. But cleaned it out back here. Set up a couple chairs. Nice little area. It was up to 94 today. The high today was about 44 degrees. And now the sun's gone down. Temperatures drop pretty quick. I'm not sure what it's down to regularly, but greenhouse is just getting down to about 55. It will get down to the regular temperature that it is out at night. But at one point today, I would say probably about 11:30, it was about 84 degrees in here. After Easter dinner at a friend's house, so maybe 5:30, and it was 94 degrees in here. So very nice, very toasty. But the problem is it won't stay that hot at night, so I do have to come up with a way to heat it up in here. My hope is to experiment back here in this area with a rocket mass heater, where you have a little rocket stove, and then it has stovepipe that runs through like a long bench that's made of materials that will retain heat. And so the stovepipe goes through the bench and then goes out, and it's something where you can burn small pieces of wood, and you start your fire, you keep it going for a couple of hours in the evening, and then as the heat goes through that stovepipe, it heats up the mass, and then even after the fire is out, the mass gives off heat, radiant heat, all night long, enough to keep your seedlings from getting too cold while they're out here. So we'll see. I don't know if I've quite convinced the husband into experimenting with that with me, but hopefully we can try that. We have lots of rocks over in a rock pile out in the pasture out in that way. So I don't know if we could make a mass out of that or not. So we'll see. But it is very nice having this lovely greenhouse. And when it is like 40 something outside, it is really nice to walk in here and have it be like 80 degrees. Super nice. Although once you get moving and working, you have to open the window, open the door, and all that lovely. So another thing that my husband did for me. Oh, wait, turn around. Okay, so back here behind the greenhouse is where I would like to make future garden beds. And this has been super overgrown. Of course, these are nice little bunches of grass that are supposed to be here. But everything else was overgrown, super tall, weedy. And my husband came through and mowed it all down today. This is also the area where I am going to have the meat birds with the net fence with a solar charger on it. I probably will. This used to be a pig shelter. So I probably will, when I first bring them out of the brooders, I probably will put the first fence around this little shelter, just so that they have that added protection, especially if I don't have a meat shaw like Justin Rhodes' meat shaw built. If you've never watched Justin Rhodes' YouTube channel, you should definitely check it out if you're interested in homesteading. And he has started an Abundance Plus streaming platform that has a community section similar to Facebook, and it is specifically streaming homesteading type of content and things that he couldn't get on Netflix because there wasn't enough conflict. There wasn't enough controversy in what he filmed when he would make his documentaries on raising pigs and raising chickens and things like that. So he started his own platform, and it's pretty cool. And in part of the member area, there are plans to make a meat shaw and a chickshaw, which is meat shaws are for your meat birds and chickshaws are for your laying flock. And I was able to talk to John about it a little bit more tonight, and I might have him convinced to make those for me so I can have mobile chickens. So this area needs to get cleaned up. I'd like to have a nice little path that comes through here between the nice big tall pretty grass that's supposed to be tall and the greenhouse. Have a nice path that comes right down through here, and then we turn around and right here out to the shed, have that path go right all the way across. The sticks with the blue rope around it, that is my asparagus bed. I need to find something else to mark it off, but that was my attempt to keep the dogs from trampling the asparagus bed. But anyway, so I would like to have a nice little path coming through here. I might wood chip it, I'm not sure. This little wild rose bush, I've kept it. We have them here and there around the property. Like you can see that big giant one in the middle there that John left. I will leave that. I'm just going to plan ahead, more space around it, not build stuff too close to it. Maybe put some daffodils or tulips underneath it. And I'll leave it because they do flower and they're very pretty. And then, of course, the rose hips are good vitamin C source and add them to your tea. Which is why I left this one originally. But it is right close to the greenhouse. I'm constantly having to trim it because it just keeps growing and growing. I try to walk between the tomato trellis and the asparagus bed, and I keep getting snagged on the rose bush every year. And so I may just actually take this out this year. What are you doing, cat? Crawling in a stump. But I have plenty more of them around the property, so I'll still have lots of rose hips and stuff like that. But yeah, especially if I'm going to have a path on the other side of this, I'm definitely going to have to take the rose bush out because it crosses right in the path. So anyway, so lots of stuff going on. Oh, the other project that he worked on for me today. I think one way the chickens were getting out, I caught Luna a few times. I had these pallets kind of stacked up as a kind of sort of shelter in the middle of the chicken coop run. I had ducks previously, and sometimes the ducks didn't like going in the coop with the chickens at night, and so I had used these pallets to kind of make a little spot that they could kind of go under, and I used to have a piece of tin on top of the roof, so it was sheltered from the weather more. But I watched Luna, my white chicken that's always out. She would climb onto the pallet structure and use that as a launch to land on top of the gate to get out. And then I think she was getting in by standing on those pallets and getting up over the fence. So I mentioned it to John, and bless his heart, he pulled that apart for me today. I'll probably chop it up and we'll burn it in the fire pit at some point. And so now we'll see tomorrow whether or not Miss Luna and a few of the other birds can get out or not. So I'm hoping if they don't, over the next couple of days, then I can come in the garden and start planting some of my cold weather seeds and my onion sets. So anyway, that is one more thing. Oh, and then maybe I could actually mulch around my grapes and the mulch would stay in place. Anyhow. Well, it has been a wonderful day. Like I said, had Easter dinner with friends. And we had our first little fire of the season. It's kind of dying down. But it's nice over here. Nice glowy coals right now. Nice and toasty warm. Warm up my fingers because it is getting cold again. Well, y'all have a fabulous night. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.